Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
This what I tell 'em. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the Hangout and Highlight session. And today we're here with my guy, Mr. Mikado Hinson, an amazing man that's doing some great things to impact lives. Or let me go back, that has been doing some amazing things to impact lives for a long time. And truly grateful to always get the opportunity to hang out with him. And so I just wanted to hang out with him and highlight him today. So first, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with me.
Brother, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to be with you and among you today, man. It's been fun cheering you on and seeing you do your thing.
Yeah, and I truly appreciate the love too. Same sentiments your way. Follow everything you do. Try to share as much as I can because it's great stuff. But just tell us a little bit about who you are and your story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we get going, man, I just want to congratulate you on your book. And the impact of influence, and just I see you doing a little book tour and everything like that. I just want to let you know, as your brother who sees kind of from the outside in what you're doing, just know I'm proud of you, and I'm cheering you on. So congratulations on that project and everything else you got going moving forward. So a little bit about myself, okay? I just finished. I'll kind of work backwards, forward, backwards, stop in the middle, just kind of go as we flow.
Let's go.
I literally just finished my 21st season in college football, serving as director of player development for the last 7 seasons here at Texas A&M. Under that umbrella, I have the privilege of serving as the chaplain, character coach, mentor, counselor, big brother, father figure, just a lot of things off the field for the young men within our program. Prior to that, I was the FCA director and team chaplain for the University of Houston football team for 14 seasons. Was privileged to work with 4 head coaches there, Dana Demmel, Art Briles, Kevin Sumlin, and then 2 years with Tony Levine until I joined Coach Kevin Sumlin here at A&M, now working for Coach Jimbo Fisher here. So I was privileged to work for FCA for 16 years in total in the greater Houston area. I remember when my wife and I first moved to Houston in 1998, we got dropped smack dab in the inner city of Houston, working HISD, A-Leaf, and Spring Branch FCA. And I remember some of my first school visits. I remember going to meet with Coach Ray Seals at Madison High School.
Legend.
Legend. Coach Johnny Simmons at Johnston Middle School. Coach Eddie Kelly at Springwoods Middle School. Coach Lee Edmiston at Langer Middle School. And then I remember my first 2 school visits. First 2 was Milby High School, visiting Coach Boyce Honey and Coach Jim Duffer. And then going over to Furr High School, visiting Ruben Garcia and Coach Al Smith. Some amazing people, and kind of got dropped right smack dab in the middle of the beautiful metropolitan inner city urban area of Houston, Texas. In that, serving in middle schools, high schools, also was blessed to work on the professional level as co-chaplain for the Houston Rockets for 7 seasons. And so with Coach Rudy Tomjanovich, he really welcomed us in and had some great relationships there, kind of during the Yao Ming, Steve Francis, the Dikembe Mutombo, Moochie Norris, kind of that era was when we were able to serve from the Compaq Center transitioning to the Toyota Center. So for 7 seasons, built some strong relationships and was able to be a part of that. But went to an HBCU, went to Norfolk State University out in Norfolk, Virginia. Behold the green and gold. And then before that, I grew up in the Kansas City area of Olathe, Kansas. I have an older brother named Chris. My mother and father, Carl and Donella, will celebrate 50 years of marriage this June. And they got married in 1971 when interracial marriages were frowned upon. And they fought through the battles of just this world. And by the grace of God, they will celebrate 50 years of marriage this June. And so I've been married for nearly 24 years myself to my bride, Chandra. We met in junior college. She ran track. I said, baby, you weren't that fast because my game slowed you down just enough for you to listen to me. I say that jokingly. I didn't have much game, but nonetheless, we have 3 beautiful children. Maya is 23, Kendall, she's 20, and my son, Mikado Jr., is 17. And so we've just been blessed. We love the journey. We believe God has us right where he wants us. And so that is just a quick snapshot of me. Outside of what I do, I love boxing. I like watching it more than I probably do participating. I don't want to get punched in the face. I hit bags because they don't hit back.
There you go.
So kind of a lot of different hobbies and stuff outside of what I do, but been blessed to be able to walk in my sweet spot for a long time.
That's awesome. Such a cool journey. And I really love the fact how you just didn't say, yes, but some good people. No, you put out names.
Yeah.
And that means that it means something.
Yeah.
And so I think that's always great. And, there's a pastor that we have in common. And he has a quote that he said, life moves at the speed of our relationships.
That's exactly right.
And so, I just, there's some people that's been in your life that has really helped you be the person who you are. Right. I think it's really cool that you have highlighted and mentioned some of those people. But are there any other people that, like, off the top of your head that you can think that just really impacted you in a major way, that like put you in the lane to be in your sweet spot, like you said?
Yeah. There've been so many amazing people along my journey, and I'm really thankful for them. I will say that Carl and Donella, my mom and dad, have been a great influence in my life. My dad worked in the grocery business for as long as I can remember, just retiring recently. And my mother was an occupational therapist. So we come from a very blue collar, hardworking home. And I just love my mom and dad to death. My dad's my hero. And he was tender and tough, and I like that combination, that he wasn't just tough and overbearing. He was tender and loving. Maybe not in exactly, he wasn't into like giving big hugs and things like that, but man, he's a great provider, a great man, someone that I probably didn't think that I took too much from at the time. Sometimes you look back in hindsight and it's 2020. Yeah. Man, I took so many valuable life lessons from my mom and dad, but as a male figure, my dad is really special to me. As I grew professionally, or even in college, a man named Greg Willis was very instrumental in my life. He was my broadcasting instructor at Norfolk State. He challenged me to enunciate and pronunciate my words fully. He used to make us do exercises where we would take pencils and we'd put them in our mouth like this, and we'd have to read paragraphs upon paragraphs. Wow. Because it makes your tongue work hard to pronounce every word. I appreciate Greg Willis for doing that, because I guess he saw long before I knew that I'd be speaking a lot for a living. And so just all those things of him taking my headsets off when I would broadcast the games and say, Mikado, did he get 5 yards or did he get 5 yards? I'm like, excuse me, is it get or get? Stop being a lazy talker, Mikado. It's get. It's not always a pen, it's a pen. And I'm like, wow. But Greg Willis is someone that I'll never forget because of some of those great life lessons in communicating. He challenged me a few times to take the high road when I thought I was right in a situation. And he corrected me and said, you need to learn to take the high road. I said, what's that? He said, the road less traveled. It's not always about being right.
Yeah.
It's about showing respect and honor when you need to, Mikado. So I just remember guys like Greg Willis. Then I moved forward professionally. Mike Myers hired me with FCA in 1998. Didn't have to take a chance on me. I didn't have any experience in ministry, but took a chance on me. There was a man on our staff named Wade Hopkins. Wade and Julie. Wade took me under his wing, and Wade served as my boss at FCA for a long, long time. And I learned just how to love people by watching Wade, the way he loved everyone with a sincere and genuine love. So I pulled that from a Wade Hopkins. Bishop Allen Rice at Together We Stand Christian Church, where we were planted in Missouri City, was such a great. We spoke at Elsick High School together. That's when I very first met him, and I watched him as a former NFL player share the gospel with a young man after we shared with Coach Bill Barron's high school team at Elsick. And I remember him talking to this young man and him giving his life to the Lord on the stairs of the little trailers that they used to meet in as a team. And I said, man, we're looking for a church home, and this man has a heart to share the gospel. And so we got plugged in at his small storefront church in Missouri City. And that's where I was licensed in gospel ministry. And that is someone who focuses on marriage ministry, evangelism, things like that. So I'm fruit from his tree. And a lot of how I operate and communicate to this day is through Bishop Allen Rice's leading. And then we get into kind of my ministry outside of church. And there's a man named John Randalls, not the NFL Hall of Famer, but John Randalls. He is a Hall of Famer in heaven right now, as he passed away in early 2015. But he was a mentor to me. He poured into me. He didn't look like me at all. He was white. He had a bald head up top and long hair in the back, and he called it a skullet. And he was kind of a hippie. He would say dude and man and things like that. But as we sit here, I'm looking at his final handwritten note that he wrote to me, November 7th, 2014. Mikado, just letting you know that you're God's man for the Aggies. Blah, 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 blah. It was his final handwritten note. We were his final chapel that he did before he went home to be with the Lord. And he would always tell me, Mikado, you are who you are, you is who you is, and you ooze what you ooze. When life squeezes you, the real you always comes out. And I'm like, wow. He'd say, you can say all day, I'm toothpaste, baby. I'm toothpaste. And life squeezes you and ketchup comes out. Guess what you are? You're ketchup. Because you are who you are, you is who you is, you ooze what you ooze. I remember some of those things. He said, Mikado, you got to know three things. You got to know who you serve, who you are, who you serve, and where you're going. He said, there's three things in this world you ain't kind of. You ain't kind of pregnant, you ain't kind of married, and you ain't kind of saved. Either you are or you ain't. That was a man that I learned so much in how to communicate through chapel messages and just in relating to people. John Randalls was a near and dear person in my life. Then I'll mention just quickly a couple others. A man named Kerry Casey. Kerry Casey worked for FCA. He it was most recently the CEO for the National Center of Fathering in Kansas City, and is now pastoring church in Illinois. He would always call me and just say, Mikado, I want to give you the Psalm of the day, brother. And he would read the Psalm or whatever. And he'd always say stuff like, I love you now here, proud of you. And Kerry Casey. And then a man named Milton Cooper, who also coached and worked for FCA, is now doing things with Coaches Outreach in a retired role. But he was the one who connected me with Houston FCA to even have the opportunity to interview. So I've said a lot to say that there have been people along my journey, and I know that I've missed some. And it's not because of my heart. It's because I forgot. Along this journey, people who've challenged me and poured into me and walked alongside me during tough times and joyful times and things like that. And so it's just truly been an honor and a privilege to be able to be in a space to live life in my sweet spot and to walk in what God has called me to do. But I know that I am a product of a lot of people pouring in and challenging me and correcting me along the way. And so I'm fruit from their ministry, and they're pouring into me And then in turn, I'm hopeful that I've been able to do that with other people, as I'm kind of one of the older guys in this business now. So those are just to name a few.
Man, I love those stories, and it's great that when we can reflect on those times. Isn't it good to know that we have people in our life that love us enough to teach us?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm thankful that all those people didn't patty cake me.
Man,
I'm telling you, they loved me hard when I was hard to love.
Yeah.
You know, people that some of our greatest growth comes from being corrected and being challenged. And so I made sure I wasn't surrounding myself or attaching myself to yes people. They would always say, yes, Mikado, that's a great idea. Oh, I think that'd be a great chapel to give her. I think people who would challenge me.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me, and I won't say who in that group, but they told me at one point, you got a judgmental spirit about you, Mikado. You really need to check that. And it challenged me big time. And I say that in just full transparency. You know, that was something I probably didn't want to hear. The pride in me, the old prideful man said, what? And then you sit and reflect and you go, you know what? I'm not the judge. So why would I have a spirit of judgment on people? My job is to love people. And these are people who they would tell me the truth, whether either I wanted to hear it or I needed to hear it. It didn't matter. They were going to tell me the truth. And so I'm just so thankful. And so I tell people all the time now, even recruits and things like that, if you're looking for somebody to play patty cake with you, wrong guy. If you look for somebody who's going to love you, I'll do that. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to walk side by side in life. When you fall, I'm not going to kick you when you're down. People didn't kick me when I was down. They helped me back up. Yeah. And so that's all I'm called to do for moms and dads for their sons now. So.
And they all are blessed to have had you in their life. Again, like I said, when I started, I think amazing guy doing amazing things, evident that you've had great people around you to learn from. And, you know, you say you're hopeful that you're doing that, but you are in a major way. I can say that, okay?
I appreciate you, brother.
In a major way, and I love it, man. Love every ounce of it. But what are maybe a couple cool, neat things that have happened along your journey of impacting?
Wow. You thought I was long-winded on those first couple answers.
Let's go.
No, I'll try to keep it brief, but in this work that we do, oftentimes it's a lot of tilling the soil, planting seeds, and sometimes I'm sowing seeds and watering seeds that other people will reap the benefits of that fruit. And I'm okay with that. I remember giving Yao Ming the Bible in Chinese, audio Bible. He never came to chapel, but I got it to a point where I would talk to Yao quite a bit in the locker room. So I had a friend named Roger Holian who worked with a ministry called Faith Comes by Hearing. And that was back in the day when they put the Bible on CDs. Yeah. And I called Roger up and I said, bro, do you have the Bible in Mandarin? He said, yeah. I said, I want to sow it into Yao Ming's life. And I remember handing it to Yao in the locker room. And I said, hey, I have a gift for you. And he looks at it and he goes, that's in my language. I said, yeah. I said, where does it say the Gospel of John? And he flips through the table of contents and he finds it and he said, right here. I said, this is where I want you to start. And I said, I just want to encourage you, man. Maybe listen to that a little bit, and a couple of weeks I'll check in with you. And I did. I asked him, I said, hey, have you had a chance to listen to any of those CDs? He said, I have. It's an interesting story. And I said, it sure is. I said, even more than that, man, it's God's love letter to you to let you know how much he loves you. And, I didn't go much beyond that, Chip. I literally just felt God saying, plant this seed, love on him. And, the rest is God's business of who he wants to put in his life and things like that. Just to nudge you out and just let him know how much he loves him. I don't know. But that was just a pretty cool moment to be able to be a part of. I remember this day distinctly, October 21st, 2006, the University of Houston. We were playing UTEP. Kevin Cobb was our quarterback. Art Browse was our head coach. We were playing against UTEP, and Kevin Cobb overthrows Byron Ely, our receiver, and they come out of bounds, and my foot is slipping on the wet grass, and he and Quentin Demps run into me, and I hear a loud pop in my ears like I have headphones on. And all I remember is when I was on the ground, I had a mouthful of sunflower seeds and I couldn't breathe, so I spit them out. And I looked down and it looks like my foot is put on backwards. And long story short, I broke my fibula and dislocated my ankle. However, you say, that's a highlight? Well, sit tight. I left my keys in the locker room. So I got carted off and everything, right? Left my keys in the locker room. So after I got my x-rays, I crutched in the locker room. Game was over. We won the game. And Brendan Pahulu from Euless Trinity High School saw me in the locker room, and he comes up and he starts crying. And he said, Mikado, I saw you go down, man. And he goes, Mikado, I was at FCA this week and I was too embarrassed to give my life to the Lord in front of my teammates. But I want to do it right now because I saw you go down, Mikado, and my heart broke for you. And I'm standing there on crutches, and we're hugging. He's still in full pads, and he receives Jesus right there in the locker room. And I thought, man, Lord, if it was meant for me to break my leg so that this young man could accept you, it was a painful way to go through it, but you know what? It was worth it. So that was a special moment for me. I'll never forget it. I mean, obviously, I had surgery and I still have a plate and pins in my leg, but I remember that day, not just because I fell and broke my leg, but because Brendan Pahulu made his eternal destination, heaven is home, that night in the locker room. And I was so proud of him. 2017, we took 72 athletes to Haiti, and we've taken 6 trips, 4 to Haiti, 2 to the Dominican Republic. You know, guys like Myles Garrett and Trevor Knight and Josh Reynolds, Deshaun Hall, Dalen Mack, Otaro Laka. I mean, just different sports. You know, we've had soccer, volleyball, track, swimming. I mean, we've had a women's basketball. We've had so many different athletes go. But in 2017 in Haiti, I was blessed to baptize my daughter, Maya. That was a special moment because we baptized over 70 athletes on those trips. But that day I got to baptize my daughter was pretty special. And so, I mean, man, I could go on and on just about amazing moments. And then you look athletically, obviously the 7 overtime game with LSU in 2018, that was pretty special as far as athletics go. But the ones that really make a difference to me, Chip, are the ones that have eternal impact and significance. And so, again, I also just, I don't know, I get pretty excited just about trying to do my job to the best of my ability. And just know that, you know, sowing seeds and watering seeds, that's great success. Everything beyond that is God's business, and that's it's above my pay grade. And so God is really good at his job. And but I'm also thankful that he would choose to use a biracial young man, middle-aged man from Olathe, Kansas, to be able to do his work in the spaces that he's allowed me to be in. I sometimes pinch myself and go, who am I to be able to, you know, do things like this? But God's faithful. And again, I'm honored to be a part of what he has done, is doing, and will do in our lives, in me, through me, however he wants to do it. And so I'm just honored to be a piece of the puzzle, man. Piece of the puzzle. And I just want to be faithful of putting my puzzle piece where it's supposed to go. And if everyone does that, then we'll have a beautiful, beautiful mosaic of what this life should look like.
Love it. Well, thanks so much for sharing, man, about you, showing appreciation and highlighting those special people in your life, and then just, discussing some of the neat stories that you've been blessed to achieve. And so before we get off, I'd like for you to, share with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love and get those positive tweets that you said. They got to have it in their life, man. Let's go.
I appreciate it, Chip, man. Listen, you're either going to get some Bible verses, maybe a quick video of maybe just God put something on my heart to be able to share, boxing tweets about fights coming up and stuff like that. So you're like, I'm not really interested in that. That just kind of goes with it. Okay. So it's part of the package, but you can follow me. I'm probably more active on Twitter, but my Twitter and my Instagram they're the same, at Mikado Hinson, KadoHinson. Or you probably can just look up Mikado Hinson on either one. And, not wrangling for followers or anything like that. However, if I'm able to be able to share an encouraging word with anyone who's listening right now, then it is truly my privilege, because there are people that I follow, Chip Baker. There are other people that I follow as well that are doing some amazing things, and I'm trying to be fed so that I can turn and feed. So you can follow me there.
Well, awesome. Again, thanks so much. And again, I'm going to tell you guys, you won't be disappointed. So much great faith-based positivity. I look forward to seeing what he's putting out so that I learn and grow as well. And so thankful for you. So thankful for your time. And I wish you continued success.
My brother, proud of you, man. Love you.
Thank
you. Let's keep doing this thing. Let's keep running the race, man.
Let's get it. Well, thank you guys for checking out this Hangout and Highlight session. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Gig 'em.
Go get it.